Aries. Ooh, you have listen. Oftentimes, listen comes out because it's saying there's something that you're not paying attention to, something that you're not hearing correctly. In other words, meaning that maybe you're asking for answers, hey, universe, what's going on with the situation? Or hey, universe, what should I expect from this situation? And it's almost as if the answer's right there in front of you. Because this talks about being sensitive to information, being an empath. Some people are, some people aren't, some people are practicing on it. Some people have other skills they hone in on, intuition, the psyche, etc. But this is mindfulness, basically saying, there's being more aware of your surroundings. So paying attention. The answer you seek might actually be right in front of you, or you may have already gotten it, just not in somebody flat out saying it. The first card you have is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is a wise energy, but this is also a person who tells it like it is. The Queen of Swords has been there, done that, seen what the situation entails, seen what the Queen of Swords has seen what really is going on, and can often be a little critical or confrontational, because the Queen of Swords says, look, I'm not buying what you're throwing out there, so unless I know the truth or unless I get the answers that I want, then I'm not 100% sure that, I see clearly what's going on, but I'm not sure, that you do, in essence. Not you, but whoever you're dealing with, because this is cutting to the root of the problems. And the Queen of Swords is being direct in conversation. So, Aries, this tells me that for some of you, you're going to have a conversation that answers need to be, put it on the table. It's almost as if there's telling me very strong sensation of somebody who is saying, oh, that's not what it's like, Aries, or don't believe this, and you're like, but I saw it with my own eyes. Like, why are you trying to make me feel crazy about something that I know happened, or I saw, or I heard myself? So somebody's worried about losing you, or has already lost you and is trying to get you back over a situation you saw clearly, and they're trying to pull the wool, sugarcoat it. I mean, we could come up with 1,000 other different sayings. The next card you have is a Five of Cups. So this is how you're feeling coming into the month. Yeah, I mean, you're sad. The Five of Cups is feeling kind of lonely, but more than anything, sad and a sense of grief. This person, whoever you're dealing with, I feel for some of you, you're on a break, but it's not an official break up. It's more of, I need my space. And then for some of you, that you guys have been broken up for a while, but still trying to figure out what's going on here, because this energy hasn't left you completely. Now, for some of you, you may be like, Dark Dove, they're completely gone. I haven't talked to this person at all. You're still on their mind, because their energy is still clearly here, and very much face value. So the Five of Cups talks about, allowing yourself the time you need to grieve, but don't give up hope, okay? There is endless potential for happiness, whether it's, with this person or with somebody else, there is still potential. And again, if you're here saying, screw that, I never want to talk to this person again, then, not the read for you, because we cover all bases. And the Five of Cups talks about not giving up hope, period. So it could be about this person, it could be about meeting somebody new, but just in essence of love, not giving up on, the thought of love. The next card you have is your distant past, over the past 5-10 years, could be throughout your childhood. You have the World card. So the World card talks about a completion. This may be somebody that you've dealt with already on several occasions, because it did come to an end. The World is the last card of the major arcana, and it is a final completion, or it is a big completion. It's also an abundance and a belonging to a certain extent. So this attachment to this person is very karmic, or very twin flame type energy here, Aries. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This person, whether you like it or not, is somebody that you can't get out of your head to a certain extent. They can't get you out of their head. So whether you've seen them in a year, or whether you haven't seen them in 3 years, there's a deep connection here. At some point you felt like they were your world, or they felt like you were their world, or obviously you both had the strong pull. And the distant past is coming back. Somebody from the past is obviously trying to resurrect here a little bit. The next card you have is anything over the past few months, past few weeks. This is your immediate past, and you have the High Priestess. Now, The High Priestess is very universal. This goes very much along with the listen, the empath side of it, the instinctual side of it, the spirituality side of it, because the High Priestess is very similar in that this is saying the universe will give you that for sure sign, excuse me, when you need it. And on top of it, the listen, as I said with the listen card, that's about paying attention. The universe may have already given you clear-cut signs, and then you're going, well, that's kind of confusing. I don't. No, for some of you, in your gut, your heart, your head, whether this is something you could go back to or whether it's not. But the High Priestess is the universe coming in at some point saying, look, if this is what you want, here's the signs. And if this is going to remain, something that shouldn't happen, here's the signs. So whatever it is going on for you, some of you very clearly know it's just acceptance is really hard, whether it's something you want or whether it's something you don't want. Accepting that is the hardest part. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Nine of Swords. So some anxiety here, just unsure, unclear, whatever happened here. They keep telling me pulling the wool, or somebody pulled the rug, like that somebody, maybe there was a third party situation, and it may not have even been like cheating. It may have just been like a text that was seen, or, which I'm not saying is okay when I say just a text. That's still a form of being, unfaithful to a certain extent, depending on the text and who it was with and whatever. You get my point. But the Nine of Swords is somebody who's feeling very anxious, feeling, could be that maybe you've had a lot of depression or anxiety over this situation. The Nine of Swords, though, the good thing about this card is that this is in mental, right? So this is in, as hard as it can be to go through a breakup and experience that pain, which can be horrifying. I mean, it can be physically debilitating. But the Nine of Swords talks about this not being something that's going to actually happen, just something you're worried about happening, meaning potentially you guys never get back together. Or if you do attempt to, that you'll always be wondering what they're up to, or are they going to hurt you again? The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks, and you have the Two of Pentacles, decisions, balance, changes, priorities. The Two of Pentacles is getting your priorities in check. The Two of Pentacles is saying, I need to stay balanced. And if this person is coming in from the past wanting to have a conversation or wanting to talk, then I need to make sure I'm balanced and I know which direction I'm heading. The minute you start to feel unbalanced, the minute like your stomach gets upset, have you ever had somebody texting you and you're like, oh God, you don't know what's coming, if it's going to be good or bad? You don't want that anymore. So the Two of Pentacles talks about keeping, people in your life and that are good for you, and priorities that are good for you. Not worrying about so much what this other person wants from you, because as much as somebody can want you back or wants to talk or whatnot, that's not you're not obligated to do that. If you can feel yourself start to slip or feel that anxiety or those harsh feelings come back in, if that is what you're getting. If you find that you want this person and you're feeling the love, then and you feel like you're at peace with them, or that you don't lose your balance when you're around them, metaphorically, obviously, then there's nothing wrong with heading forward. And then you have the Lovers, something tangible throughout the month. You have the Lovers. Now, it could be maybe you're going to have, a couple people interested, but somebody that you had a very strong connection with is heading back if they haven't already. And maybe, maybe they miss you and it's just tightened this month. But there's something between you and this person. And Aries, like I said, if you see my reads, I don't sugarcoat. So this person likes you, you miss them, you guys still have this strong connection. The love is still out there. The Lovers card is Gemini's card, so you could be dealing with a Gemini or have Gemini placement in your charts. But again, the Lovers is, it's two people, it's a connection. However, it can also be an ultimatum. So this person may have shown up to be like, look, Aries, I miss you and I love you. What do you want to do here? What are we doing here? We still love each other, so what's the story? But again, no obligation to rush into anything. The next card you have is the Justice card. This is how you're feeling throughout the month going into March. And the Justice card is Libra's card, so you could be dealing with a Libra, have Libra placements in your chart. But the Justice talks about balancing the scales, obviously, and making sure that things are not, one-sided, and that it's even keel, that you're not compromising on things that are important to you, and this other person isn't compromising on things that mean something to them as well. Now, the Justice card also talks of marriage sometimes. So the Justice card can also represent marriage. So that's something that maybe is on your mind. Maybe this was somebody that you thought you were going to marry, and now all of a sudden they're back, and you're like, "Whoa, what's going on? Is this, is this for real? Is this what's happening? What are we doing here?" But again, I like the Justice card because this means that you're thinking about, like, I don't want the scales to tip, so to speak. I don't want to, I'm not going to, I gave and I gave and I gave and I gave, and I'm just not going to do that anymore without seeing it reciprocated. And that's the hardest part. With this person, it feels as though, it wasn't reciprocated on a regular basis. And that's what you don't want to get back into old patterns, repeating different patterns. That's why it was cut off in the first place. Because the Justice talks about, fairness and equality and making sure that both parties are happy in this situation. The next card you have is any hopes and fears for the outcome. And you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is clarity, logic, power. This is what I was talking about with the Queen of Swords. The Ace of Swords talks about that logic, about that power. The Ace of Swords talks about hold on to your power, okay, Aries? And I'm not saying, oh, like you're on this, you're up here and they're down here. I'm talking about, you know what you know. So don't get flipped into this whole, you're crazy or Aries, you don't know what you're talking about, because somebody back here is going want to some of you about, oh, Aries, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, or don't be crazy, you're and don't if you know what you know, don't like keep your power, like make sure you're maintaining that you're not, don't be influenced by when you know what you know. Okay, now your outcome card is the Fool. So the Fool is the beginning of the major arcana, also one of my favorite cards in the deck, because alligators and crocodiles are my favorite animal, but or animals. But the Fool card talks about, taking a leap of faith. Now, this could be taking a leap of faith on, this past person, because you do have a lot of love here. We talked about this. And I do think that there is potential for you guys to get back together, or at least talk about getting back together. But the Fool talks about it would be a leap of faith to do this. Now, the Fool can also be a new beginning with somebody new, but I don't see that. It does feel like it's somebody from the past, especially with this Listen card here, kind of like you have your answers already. That doesn't seem like it's on somebody you've just met. Now, you have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands is courageous, somebody who moves forward with gusto and isn't afraid to, take a chance if they feel in their heart they want to. So there really is some sort of urge here, Aries, to give this person the time of day. The Fool card, like I said, could be a new journey, but it does feel like it's going to be a leap of faith or a new journey, potentially with this past person, potentially with somebody you still have a very strong connection with. And the reason I say that is because you have the 10 of Pentacles clarifying your 9 of Swords, which is, the 9 of Swords is obviously anxiety here. But the 10 of Pentacles is legacy. This is like marriage. This is somebody who, you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with. And I think they're telling you to take a chance on this, potentially, depending on how bad the situation was, and what it's going to take to get over. And if you want to do what you need to do to get over. But interestingly, here you have the Justice card, which can represent marriage. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles, which goes into the legacy, which talks about marriage. It talks about generational. It talks about kids. It talks about grandkids. The 10 of Pentacles is the lifelong journey of moving forward with somebody for forever. And the Knight of Wands is not fearing the outcome. But then I think it's interesting, you have the World card here, which is somebody from your past is back again. Also the World and that belonging, or that feeling of abundance. So there's going to be something here that comes in where you do feel an abundance with this person, or you do feel a belonging with this person. And then to top it off, you have the 9 of Cups, which is bliss, pleasure, fulfillment. It's almost wishful thinking, but not that it can't come true. It's more just, wouldn't that be amazing if we could have this 9 of Cups, if we could have this bliss and pleasure again? Well, and then you have exchanging gifts. So maybe a wedding is on the table for some of you Aries. Maybe there really is some sort of celebration going on here, because having exchanging gifts after talking about, potential marriage, after talking about, a potential legacy of you guys having, kids, grandkids, the entire, message of that. The gifts, exchanging gifts is giving and receiving, trade-offs, weighing costs, determining values, etc. So there's potential here, Aries, for you guys to have something fulfilling if you can get past, whatever, like I said, whoever this person is, if they can shut the trap and like maybe they need to listen, maybe they need to pay attention to what you're saying, because I don't think for everybody out there you're all saying no. I think it's more just you're not understanding. We can't continue the way we used to. And this person's like, oh, but Aries, and you're like, no, now's the time to shut up and listen, because I already know what I know. So it's not about whether that happened or not. It's about how do we get over that if we decide to and overcome it.